Hi, I'm Dylan.
And I'm Ryan.
Today we went to a few different places around town. We went to a bargain bookstore going out of business, some other used bookstores and retro places.
Retro places, music stores, that kind of
Yeah,
thing.
old video games, stuff like that. And here is what we got. Okay, from the first place, it was all a bunch of $1 books.
Yeah,
right?
it was a going out of business sale, $1 everything.
Yeah, so I got a lot of
Bookstore.
books from there. I think you did too.
I got a handful, yeah.
Yeah, here, I'll go first. One I got from there is a book called Peter Kamenzind by Hermann Hesse. I've never read it, but I have read Siddhartha by Hermann Hesse. And I've read that one multiple times, so I'm interested to read other books by this German writer translated into English, and this one sounded interesting to me. Peter Kamenzind.
First one I got here, The Joy Luck Club by Amy Tan. This is one, I've not seen the movie. I know there is a movie of this. I've not read this or anything else by Amy Tan, but we do adaptation stations, so almost anything that I see that is based on a movie that I might be slightly interested in, I'm like, I gotta grab that, especially if it's just $1.
Yeah, can't pass it up. And I have read that one before, so yeah, maybe we'll do that one in the future. My next book is one I'd never heard of the book or the author, but it's called The Far Side of Home, the Civil War novel that shocked the traditional South by Maggie Davis. I don't know, sounds interesting and all about the American Civil War, and I also just like the way it's printed with these rounded edges. I've never seen one like that. But
what did it say on the front of that? Bestseller at $4.95. Now 75 cents.
Now 75 cents. Yeah, I mean, it's from 1963.
Well, you bought it for $1.
Yeah.
You sucker.
It's marked up. Yeah. Well, because it's, 60 years later.
That's another one I got. I got a Cannery Row, a copy of Cannery Row by Steinbeck. Because we have one. We have a copy of this here at the house, but it's kind of chewed up by the dog a little bit. There's like one page at least where you can't read a whole page of it. So
yeah,
I had to get a fresh used copy.
Oh, I actually got two that I want to recommend to you.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you both of these.
Oh.
Because I've already read them, but they're different editions than what I have, so I can just hand them to you. One is called We by Yevgeny Zamyatin, Russian author, like a utopia or dystopia.
Is this the 1984 one? Yeah.
Yeah, you were there when
you talked about this one.
Yeah, we talked about it. So it's like 1984 before 1984. This is a different translation into English than the one I read.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I'd be interested to hear what you think of it. It might be a little bit different. Cool little paperback one.
Awesome.
And the second one is a collection of short stories by Alan Silito, The Loneliness of the Long Distance Runner.
You've talked about that.
Yeah, I actually have two copies of it already because I read one paperback copy and then I found this cool hardback copy with different artwork on it. And this is different than both of those, but I didn't want to leave it there all alone, so that's for you. Great short stories.
Well, thank you. Next one I got here is A Time to Kill by John Grisham, another book-to-movie adaptation.
Yeah,
so
the movie with Samuel L. Jackson, Sandra Bullock, Matthew McConaughey. Yeah, we should definitely do that one.
Yeah.
My next one, I found a book called Santa Evita by Tomás Eloy Martínez. I'd never heard of it. I think it mixes some real life stuff with like a fantasy story. It's about an actress named Eva Perón that passed away and then everyone worships her. But then the story follows her afterlife, like when they're transporting her body. I don't know if she comes back to life or something like that. I don't know. Sounds like an interesting magical realism story. Translated into English from an Argentine author. And Gabriel Garcia Marquez says, "Finally, this is the novel I always wanted to read."
Oh, okay.
So it must be good.
Yeah. I grabbed this one that I saw, The Trap by Tabitha King. Stephen King's
Stephen
wife.
King's wife.
So
yeah.
I haven't read anything of hers, so I was like, hey, maybe I'll grab this one. It seems.
Yeah. Do you know if she does horror also?
This
or is it
one
a little-
seemed like horror.
Mm.
So yes.
Cool. I've never read any Tabitha King either. This one I was kind of judging a book by its cover at first. It's called Quest for the Future by A.E. Van Vogt.
Wow. What a cover.
Yeah.
It's like an iguana with tentacles coming out. It's like tentacle
Oh,
tongue.
yeah, tentacles on the tongue, and then there's like a guy with a
Suction cups on the
jetpack
tongue.
filming it. The little synopsis on the inside made it sound interesting
He's
too.
filming it like with a little.
Yeah, that's supposed to be
hand-crank video
futuristic
camera.
technology. The synopsis here said something like there's a teacher who is using those old slide projector machines, but that was supposed to be like the new technology this time. He's like, this is the new technology. But he finds some mysterious slide that shows like this kind of scene, and he's like, it looks so real. I need to find out where this slide came from. So I don't know. Sounds like a fun sci-fi fantasy adventure thing.
Well, then I have another one that I judged by the cover.
Oh, yeah.
that you also almost grabbed.
I almost grabbed it. Yeah.
This book called Brain Fire by Campbell Armstrong.
Look at that cover.
Never heard of it. Anything like that. It's something about some story with some American person, American guy, and then there's Soviet KGB stuff. Psychic assassin, like I don't know. I if I even never get to read this, it's just like a weird one to have on the bookshelf. You know?
So it's like a spy thriller, but maybe some kind of fantasy or I don't know, superpower stuff involved also.
Yeah, it makes me think of MK Ultra. That those mind power psych experiments or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully it's good and not just the cover.
Yeah.
This was the first one I grabbed. It's a book called A 6-Letter Word for Death by Patricia Moyes or Moyes. It's like about a crossword puzzle. Like a police detective receives a crossword puzzle in the mail and he thinks it's just a joke or an ad or something, but then he starts finding some clues that might be connected to something darker or a murderer sent it in. Might be a silly detective story, but I just liked the premise from... and the cover.
This is the last one I got from the first place we went. The Mammoth Hunters by Jean M. I don't know how to say her last name. Owl.
I'm not sure.
Anyway, this is the third one in the series. I grabbed it because I went out trying to find the first one, which has been recommended multiple times to my girlfriend, actually. So it was for her. So I was like, well, maybe it's only $1. I'll grab the third one, and then maybe she'll get to it eventually.
Is there a name for the whole series?
Or... it just says a novel by the author of Clan of the Cave Bear and Valley of Horses.
So it's just the...
Earth's Children, maybe? Yeah, it says Earth's Children on it. So maybe it's the Earth's Children series.
Children...
Apparently 6 books.
Or... 6 books.
Apparently 6 books in it.
I'd only heard of Clan of the Cave Bear
me too.
until today. Cool, that's a big one. And I also have just one more from the first place, and that is a Michael Crichton. I'm on a quest right now to read more Michael Crichton after we did Red Sphere. This one is called A Case of Need, which, from what I understand, is not a sci-fi, but just a straight-up medical drama type of thing. And maybe a court case surrounding medical malpractice, which seems cool. I like some medical dramas, and I'm really getting into Michael Crichton, so I'm excited to read that one. All right, that was the first place. The second place we went was more of like a music store.
Yeah, it's called.
It also had
yeah. It's called. It's a music store by name, but yeah, it's like that kind of retro store that has used video games, records, CDs, DVDs. It had some books there too.
Yeah,
I got comics. That kind of a thing.
Yep. So what's the first thing you got from that place?
Well, the first thing I got, I'll just start off with some books because I got a book. I got The Amazing Spider-Man in his first full-length novel, Mayhem in Manhattan.
Very cool.
So that would, and this is one that you think that you have this.
I got a copy from our uncle, but I haven't read it yet. I thought it looked interesting. Yeah, I wonder how it reads on the page, you know, without the action in the boxes and the POWs.
Well, the back says sinister, stupendous, global, diabolical.
I wonder who...
Global is funny to me.
Global, yeah. Global. Like, does he travel the world in the book? Maybe.
So, I don't know. We'll see. Spider-Man's my favorite. That's why I grabbed that one.
Yeah, should be fun. I'll start with the book I grabbed then. I found a book called Family Happiness. It's a collection of short stories by Leo Tolstoy, one of Russia's greatest writers, allegedly. Not my opinion, because I haven't read any Tolstoy yet. So I thought I'd start with some short stories before I try to read one of his huge novels. So yeah, that one seemed interesting. Family Happiness.
All right, what else I got from there? Then I got a few games. So for PS1, Dave Mirra Freestyle BMX. The first one. So we played back in our childhoods. Dave Mirra Freestyle BMX 2.
I remember that one. I like that one.
GameCube. So we played that one a good amount of time. So I was like, well, I gotta check out the first one.
Yeah, see where it all started. Yeah, it sounds fun. I'd like to play that too. My next one's also a video game. It's Die Hard Vendetta for GameCube. We played GameCube a lot growing up, but we never played this one. I didn't know they had a Die Hard game, so I just couldn't stop myself from getting it out of curiosity to at least try it. I mean, it looks like a shooter game, they're maybe trying to make it in the style of GoldenEye, because that was really popular. So hopefully that's fun. Die Hard Vendetta.
All right, next game I got was another one that we rented back in the day for Xbox, original Xbox, X-Men Next Dimension, which is an X-Men fighting game.
I always like the fighting games.
Yeah, we played a good amount of these, and I've been on a search for some of them, and can't remember what the names of some of them were.
X-Men games or fighting
X-Men
games?
fighting games specifically.
Oh, yeah,
we played a couple of them, and this is one of them.
There's another one where you could throw them through the walls of the house.
Yeah, I thought that was this one, but
I think that's a different one.
It might not be this one.
Yeah, I don't remember what that one's called.
I know, that's my problem.
If anybody knows the X-Men fighting games, list them all below in the comments so we can find it.
It's not X-Men Mutant Academy or Mutant Academy 2, although I am looking for Mutant Academy 2. I do want a copy of that.
They had a lot of X-Men games. I noticed some other ones when we were there too. The last thing I got from that store was a record. It's an album called Ojos que Matan, Eyes That Kill, by I think he was from Ecuador. Yeah, an artist from Ecuador named Julio Jaramillo. I've never heard this album or this artist before, but I like to take a gamble with some cheap used records. If it sounds interesting, sometimes I find something that I really like. So I'm excited to listen to this one. And
the last thing I got from there is one thing that I think we got, again, that we rented. Maybe we were definitely older by that time, but I just remember we had just the nostalgia of having one late night that we were playing this and freaking out. Condemned 2 Bloodshot.
Scariest game I ever remember playing, yeah.
It probably doesn't hold up because it probably looks like crap now, but
at the time it felt real, and it was, like you said, probably just like a late night, all the lights are out. That was your last one?
That was my last one for that place, yep.
Okay, the next place we went to also had some video games.
Same kind of place,
movies and music, retro store. The first one I got from that place is Tony Hawk's Downhill Jam for the Nintendo Wii. The Tony Hawk Pro Skater games were always my favorite, or any that are kind of in that style, like Dave Mirra, BMX, Rocket Power, where you can skateboard and stuff. I kind of already collect these. I have most of the GameCube versions of it, like Underground, but I don't have this one right now in my collection for Wii, Downhill Jam, where you can use the remote to go down the hill. I remember playing this before, but only vaguely, so I'm interested to see how this feels to play again.
In that same vein, I got a game for GameCube called Aggressive Inline, which is that style of game, but inline skating.
Yeah.
And it's because that had it's aggressive, a very short period of time where that was a little bit cool. To like tricks on inline skates.
Yeah, like jumping up and grinding on
I don't
the
think
rail.
it didn't quite catch on quite like everything else, but
they tried to make it catch on with the craze of Tony Hawk games.
Yeah.
So I do remember renting that one at least once. So the next one I got from that place is a movie called Skyline. Have you ever seen this one?
Never heard of it.
I actually haven't watched it either, but it's apparently from the visual effects masterminds behind Avatar, Iron Man 2, and 300. And more importantly, it stars Donald Faison from Scrubs. He plays Dr. Turk in Scrubs, and he's barely in any movies, it seems like. He's mostly in Scrubs. So I wanted to see it, and it takes place in Southern California, some kind of doomsday thing, like aliens come down from the sky. Yeah, I'm just going to take another gamble and see if I like Skyline.
This is one that I never knew existed. It's a game, and so I just had to get it to try it out. Reservoir Dogs, the game. For original Xbox. So I don't know. It says it takes you through the whole storyline. You play through the signature moments of the movie, plus scenes only discussed in the film.
Oh, because they
including the diamond heist and stashing.
They
the
don't
goods.
really show the crimes that happen or like what they meant to do. So we're moving on to our last place. Big used bookstore, so more books to come. You should go first this time because I think you got more from this place.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, to start this one off, I'll do a couple at a time for some of these. I did find Clan of the Cave Bear, the first one, and I grabbed Valley of the Horses, which is the second one, so now I have the first three here.
They're all kind of big. They don't look short.
They are big, so, well,
it's a big commitment.
Yeah, let's see. I want to see if these ones said Earth's Children. These ones don't say that.
Maybe they didn't start to call it that until she wrote 3, 4, 5. All right. I'm going to pull them randomly out of my bag. I got a Stephen King collection of short stories or medium stories. It's called 4 Past Midnight. You grabbed a copy too, yeah?
Yeah.
Different cover, though.
I grabbed a different cover, yeah. This is the one that I read previously. I read this cover version. I've read this before,
so
but I don't own experience. One. Yeah. I figured let me get a different one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is just 4 stories, right? I think it's just 4 stories. That's why it's called 4 Past Midnight. So they're not super short stories. It's a pretty thick book. So you might even be 4 novellas, but...
Okay, we'll go with this one. Cormac McCarthy, the Border trilogy, All the Pretty Horses, The Crossing, Cities of the Plain. I have read all of them already. Oh, yeah. We obviously did All the Pretty Horses on Adaptation Station, Season 1. Go check that one out.
Yeah, that was a good episode.
But this, I only own the first one. And even though I've read all of them, and here's all of them all in one, hardcover copy. So
yeah,
perfect.
And I grabbed the second 2 as individuals after you grabbed that because I haven't read the trilogy myself. I just read the first one for our episode. So I'd like to continue it. And I think number 2 is The Crossing. Number 3, Cities of the Plain. I did find 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea by Jules Verne. I was looking for this one specifically after reading Sphere by Michael Crichton, another episode we did. It talks about this book, an adventure under the sea and some monsters down there, stuff like that. I haven't read it ever before, so I'm excited to read this one. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
I didn't know that was such a long book. It's a pretty hefty one.
Yeah. And there were actually a few copies there, and I struggled to choose which one because... I think Jules Verne is French. They all say they're different translations. So I was looking at them. They're worded a little bit differently. Yeah, hopefully this is a good translation.
I'm going to stick in Cormac McCarthy, Blood Meridian.
Oh, nice.
I think this one was on a list I looked up once of great American novels. And I was trying to read a bunch of books on that list just to get some great American novels under my belt. So this one's one I wanted to read for a while. So
nice. I found this looks really interesting to me. The Jewel of 7 Stars by Bram Stoker, author of Dracula, the Irish writer Bram Stoker. I have only read Dracula by him, but I loved Dracula. And this seems like a similar fun adventure about like ancient Egyptian mythology. Like they maybe go, I don't know if they break into a pyramid, but they're like looking for this jewel and then the mummies get mad or something like that. So seems like a fun adventure story.
It's another one I grabbed, Where the Crawdads Sing. Another book to movie adaptation.
True.
This one I grabbed because my girlfriend watched the movie recently and liked it so much. And so this one's for her if she wants to read the book.
But you didn't watch the movie?
I did not watch the movie.
So we could do this.
So this is still up for grabs for us doing this on the show. Yeah.
Cool. I knew you were looking for that. I didn't know if you found it actually. I just have one more. And it's a book called Writing Down the Bones, Freeing the Writer Within by Natalie Goldberg. So this is a book on, I guess, how to write, like advice on how to write. I've heard of this book before and the writer, Natalie Goldberg, mentioned in other books. And she draws on some Zen philosophy, meditation practice, and translates that into her writing. So I'm excited to read this as some inspiration, hopefully some tips and tricks for writing.
I grabbed A Wrinkle in Time by Madeleine L'Engle. I don't know how to actually really pronounce that. But this is actually, I read this book as a child. And part of what made me want to get this again is it's referenced in Ted Lasso. In season 1.
Yeah, as seen on TV.
Yeah, Ted gives this to Roy Kent to help him become a better leader.
And he's mad about it at first.
This is one I read before, Diary, Chuck Palahniuk, one of my favorite books that I've read. It's been a while since I read it. Also a fun, kind of cutout cover one.
Kind of where it has 2 covers.
I want to read this one again.
And one of your picks that should be adapted into a movie,
that's true,
right?
Yeah. That's true. We did a video on books that should be made into movies, and this was on my list.
Yeah, I remember you mentioning that one. You still have a lot in there.
I still got a good amount. We'll just bundle a couple together, so a couple more Cormac McCarthy's, 2 that are movies, The Road and No Country for Old Men. I've already seen both movies, but I haven't read the books. So
we could potentially do The Road because I read it first.
Oh,
I read it and then watched it.
Yeah.
Maybe
but we've both seen No Country for Old Men.
Yeah, I watched that movie.
Here's another one, Love in the Time of Cholera.
Oh, I like that cover.
Yeah, there were a couple different covers there, and so I just wanted to pick kind of the most interesting one.
Yeah. Also has a movie with Javier Bardem from No Country for Old Men.
Oh, wow. Let's see, a few other ones from great American novels, right? The Great Gatsby.
Classic. Cool cover also for that
Fitzgerald. Yeah. Beloved by Toni Morrison.
Nice.
And Absalom by William Faulkner.
Interesting. I haven't read any William Faulkner myself.
Yeah, I haven't either. Last, we'll top it off with a couple books in Lillian Jackson Braun's The Cat Who mystery series.
Now you almost have them all, right?
I almost have them all. It's a series that I read, not all of them certainly, but as a kid I read a bunch of these, and so I kind of wanted to go back and see what they were like, and they're fun and easy and whatever. So yeah, I have I think I only have 3. There's only 3 that I don't have.
Out of how many?
Out of 29.
29?
Yeah.
Cool. That's all of them?
That's it.
Awesome. This was a great book, movie, video game, music haul we had today going around town. If you've read any of these, please let us know in the comments, like which ones of these are good, because a lot of these we haven't read before. Or I was taking a gamble with some new things, so
we're gonna need some help prioritizing.
Yeah, which ones do we read first? I don't know where to start with this big stack.
Or if you liked some of these and you have recommendations for ones that are similar or something like that.
Yeah, we'll do another book haul in the future.
Give us some other ideas of more stuff to get.
Yeah, and if you've read all of these and you're looking for something new to read, we have some books available too. So we'll leave some links down in the description box where you can find the books we've published.
Yeah, and if you want to hear more about what we think about some books and movies, we check out other videos on this channel. We do Adaptation Station, where we read books, we watch movies, and we review them.
That's a fun ongoing series, and maybe we'll start some other fun stuff in the future. So remember to stay tuned, subscribe to the channel, click that bell, and tell your friends to tune in too. Click another video now. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.